So worksheet number 3. I'm going to go through it. So which of the below is the correct mechanism for keeping glomerular filtration rate constant? The hormonal renin-angiotensin system, okay? So it's not asking for which is false, it is actually asking for which is true. So that's a change of things. The true answers to this are in the red. So an increase in sodium secretion or excretion due to the increase in the atrial natriuretic peptide and the vascular natriuretic peptide hormones. That would make this true.
Ventricular.
Ventricular, yeah, ventricular. The changing blood pressure conditions through sympathetic impulses, right? This keeps the glomerular filtration rate going, and sympathetic impulses are like, and you like pee yourself, right? And then autoregulation from the, I mean, what are we dealing with here? We haven't been talking about livers. Kidneys. We've been talking about kidneys, yes. Okay, so vasoconstriction of the afferent arteriole decreases glomerular filtration rate. So this we talked about happening in the urinary system. Now we're going to talk about the cardiovascular system. So we're just going to be talking about the blood component of it. So this is your afferent arteriole. This is your glomerulus. This is your efferent arteriole, and then your peritubular capillaries just around those tubes. So vasoconstriction of the afferent arteriole, so that constricts, that cuts off blood supply to there. This will decrease the glomerular filtration rate. And I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? Cut off that blood pressure. A decrease in urine formation allows the body to conserve fluids. Yes, okay. And if there is too much blood pressure, glomerular filtration rate is increased by vasodilation of the afferent arteriole. Because vasodilation, right, dilates, it opens up. So if you have too much blood pressure, you have too much. Thank you.
I did not see that.
Oh my. Okay, we're talking about blood. Woohoo, this is red. Okay. So your afferent, I know I forgot mine. I will return this. Is your afferent, your glomerulus, your efferent right here. Right, because think about the E and efferent, it's exiting, right? It's exiting out. And then your peritubular capillary. So peri means right next to, tubules. Think about the tubes in the washing machines, right? Because your kidneys are the washing machines, the tubules and your nephrons are the tubes in a washing machine. I know it really doesn't have a lot of tubes, but we're rolling with it.
But it sounds good.
Yeah, there you go. It works. So if there is too much blood pressure, if you have too much fluid in your body, the glomerular filtration rate is increased by vasodilation of the afferent arteriole. So this will dilate, and then more fluid will go to your glomerulus, and it'll like increase glomerular filtration rate. Circle all the hormones utilized in the renin-angiotensin system. This is all of them. Trick question. Select all that apply. These are all hormones that function in the renin-angiotensin system. And we will go through this. This first one is your ADH, antidiuretic hormone, your aldosterone. Whenever you see aldosterone, think of potassium. Aldosterone, potassium, aldosterone, potassium. Renin is another hormone, and then angiotensin 2. We will go through this. So basically what your renin-angiotensin system does is that it causes you to retain water. So a good way to think about it, just say like you sever a leg. I would hope you wouldn't do this or something, but you sever a leg and you're bleeding out a lot. Since you're bleeding out a lot, you're losing a lot of blood pressure, you're losing a lot of fluids. So what your renin angiotensin system is trying to do is trying to get you to reabsorb those fluids that would leave through the urinary system. Does that make sense? It's trying to keep as much fluid as possible in your body because you're losing all of it through this severed limb. I just think of Monty Python. It's just only a flesh wound. Anyway, so the renin angiotensin system is triggered by a decrease in blood pressure. So, you sever.
My mind just went that.
Yeah, there you go. So you sever your wound, you sever your leg, and this decreases your blood pressure because you're bleeding out.
Right.
Hormones, so these are like your renin and your angiotensin 2, these other ones that you circled them all. This and vasoconstriction throughout your body, right? We're gonna vasoconstrict, you're trying to keep everything in. This will increase blood pressure by conserving sodium in water. This is what these hormones do, but we will go through that, how they do and how they function. So the next part, I'm going to scroll down. You will have access to this. I know, it's a bunch of like fill in the blanks. So for this first, for A, right, A, okay. So I will draw this. Does anyone want to read off A for me?
Renin turns angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1.
Okay, so you have ogen, right? Genesis is not doing anything. Renin is a hormone secreted by the kidneys, right? Yes. Okay, so renin goes to angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen turns into what? What is that? What is that for? Okay, angiotensin 1. And then you have, did I mention the other hormone? No, yeah, I do. So then you have ACE enzyme, which is just an enzyme in your body. When the ACE enzyme detects angiotensin 1 is in your body, it will go to angiotensin 1, converting it into angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 will then, what is the first one asking for? What is it causing then? So the first one, it's vasoconstriction, right? And where do you think in the urinary system it is vasoconstricting? I just threw these.
Say the afferent.
Yeah, the afferent arterial, right? The afferent arterial goes into the glomerulus. This is the thing that's actually vasoconstricting. It's also vasoconstricting throughout your body, but since we're talking about the urinary system, we're just focused on there.
Because of the juxtamedullary cells, correct?
Yep, there you go. Because they react to the angiotensin 2. Next, this angiotensin 2 will trigger the secretion of what?
ADH.
Yeah, antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic just basically retains, reabsorbs, reuptake water. This looks like chaos, I'm sorry. Angiotensinogen, angiotensin 1. This is the same hormone, it's just being changed by these other ones. Renin comes from your kidney. This comes from your blood. All these come from your blood, but renin is the hormone coming from your kidney, and this is all happening inside of your kidney. So antidiuretic hormone, this is actually secreted by your brain, but it goes to your kidney and it causes you to retain, reabsorb, reuptake water, right? Because you're losing all that blood pressure. The next one is, what is it?
Aldosterone.
Right? And aldosterone, whenever you think of aldosterone, think potassium, right? But what is it doing to potassium? I don't have it up there. It's getting rid of potassium. Because you get rid of potassium, then you retain your sodium. And if you retain your sodium, what also is retained?
Water.
Water, right? So aldosterone is going to decrease. They also have it, some books are different, I don't know about yours, but sometimes they have ADH with sodium, but it's actually containing water. But sometimes they have it with sodium. With aldosterone, you're going to excrete potassium. You don't want potassium in your body. So think about like, no bananas for me. I don't know. I don't want bananas. No. Because if you decrease your potassium, your body is going to keep your sodium, and it's going to then keep your water. And the end result is an increase in blood pressure and the glomerular filtration rate.
Okay, the aldosterone
Mhm.
excretes potassium
Yes.
and it keeps
Sodium and water.
Mm-hmm. Right, so no banana, you know.
No banana.
No bananas for me. I don't know.
I love that.
So writing that on my sheet right now. No banana.
So this all is to increase blood pressure, right? This is the goal, increase blood pressure.
Yes, because you're bleeding out.
Yep. This next one, well, we don't want to increase blood pressure. So. Do you guys want a picture of this, or I think it's on the video, so it's there, but.
I'm gonna take a picture anyway.
And I think I did this, I think I drew this out on another worksheet that I did. Sweet. I'm gonna look for it actually. So if you go into. No. Yeah, oh, there it is. So if you go into your cardiovascular worksheet that you have, it has this chart that I made and it has the breakdown. So this is worksheet number 4 for the cardiovascular system. It has that. And it also, if I scroll up, this one also, it talks about, it has this picture up here, it talks about the different pressures. So if you look in that, one of the past worksheets that we have, it's there.
Okay, wait a minute. See cardiovascular.
Worksheet number 4, cardiovascular system. I got it written down for you.
It's the last one.
But you said 2 of them, number 4 and what?
Oh.
Are they both on number
They're
4?
both on number 4.
Okay.
You just need to look through. It's the 2 pictures. So there's one that looks like this, kind of, but more sane. And then there's one that is just the different pressures. Okay, I'm erasing this.
Okay.
We're gonna talk, so this we were talking about if you had low blood pressure and you wanted to increase it. That's what this last part was. Now, let's just say that you have high blood pressure and you're like really stressed all the time. You're like turning into a Hulk or something. So when you have all that water and all that pressure inside your blood and it's pumping, what's it gonna really wear out?
Your heart.
Yeah, your heart. So your heart's gonna go like, we don't want that.
Right.
We don't want that. That's not good. So your heart will secrete atrial, right? Because the atrium of the heart is this first part. Atrial, natriuretic. So when you think of this, you think of sodium, right? Atrial, natriuretic, peptide, hormone. And you know, so if you have a lot of blood pressure, what do you think this hormone is gonna do? To it decreases blood pressure. It causes you to pee more. So it will decrease blood pressure. So your heart doesn't like get worn out. So in this sentence, atrial natriuretic hormone, oh, it's just called hormone, okay, hormone, is secreted by the overstretching of the heart due to high blood pressure. The atrial natriuretic hormone will then increase sodium excretion and glomerular filtration rate. So it will cause you to, it will say, hey, we need to get rid of the sodium, right? And if you get rid of the sodium, you also get rid of the water because it's like a magnet. The water follows the sodium out. This is just a curveball at you. If someone's liver fails, their plasma proteins fall and PCOP decreases. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if someone has liver failure, PCOP may be